Oh, snap. Garnet. Change your name to Lost Wild. It would be funny. You must do this. Can you hear me? I have presented the really crappy looking Stargate. Garnet, I can't hear anything you're saying. Talking? Talking to me? You're talking to me?
What's up? What's up?
Yo, what's up?
How'd you get that avatar working in here?
Because I have magic. My legs work. No gravity. I'm gonna figure that out next week.
Are
No
you
gravity.
getting better at avatars?
Not really.
I've got someone working on a goat avatar for Grand Theft Auto,
Oh, good.
so we'll be able to play goats in GA.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Fantastic, dude. Dude, if you look underneath all the lanterns, those little platforms, teleporters.
Oh,
Whoa.
cool.
Uh.
That's pretty rad. So once you're in these rooms, how do you get out? Just jump
You
out
don't.
or
I
something?
steal your soul. Haha. No, you just walk out, man. Ah. You just walk out and jump off, dude.
Okay. So
That's just a
there's
temporary
no
fix.
there's until they learn how to fly.
No, well, there is a way to fly here. I turn gravity off. And then when you jump, you keep on jumping, you fly, actually. But I have to figure out how to make that happen. I wasn't able to figure it out in time. The visual scripting.
Ooh, this room's got music in it.
I know. They do, man. This is like the other one. Oh, is that Kurt? Oh, crap. Kurt. Where are you? Wherefore art thou, Kurt?
I like your
Turn the
teleporter.
audio on.
So some of the new things, they introduced hoverboards now. You can put hoverboards in your room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you can actually
like
make them attach.
an attachment. They can be whatever. It can be a hoverboard. Or it can be whatever you want to make.
That's cool.
No, I saw Kurt in here. Kurt, unmute yourself. Kurt, unmute yourself. People are actually showing up. Yay. Yeah. I am streaming this, so be on your best behavior.
Oh yeah. What? It's streamed live?
Yes, to Facebook and to YouTube.
So what have you been busy with last?
Well, you know, partially what we're working on. It's all this fun and excitement with the thing we sent you for Natasha, and amongst a few other things, just figuring out how to get some cream cash. Cream, the money, dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah. definitely, we're always need that.
But I'm expecting it to be a little slow, as there definitely needs to be a different kind of marketing for spatial. The studio is working on that with us too, and we have an event tomorrow called Life 3.0. That's Anders' event that I will be helping him with and co-hosting about all the stuff we're working on. So if you I don't know if you're available from 2:30 to 4. I know you're pretty busy, but if you want to just jump in anytime.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Is there someone named joining?
Yeah,
Kurt.
yeah. Tomorrow I'm heading out to a studio in Langley, a big one.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah,
I like.
they're called Martini Film Studios.
Oh, cool. Really? You gonna get a martini in Rossi Astor Spumante? Or you gonna get a martini on the rocks?
Yeah.
Shaking us.
Well, some of my friends just bought a jet, and they're looking for a
What?
hangar to park it.
Just
And
bought a jet.
apparently, this film studio, they've got their own runway, which is
Yeah.
pretty
Wow.
trippy.
I want a jet.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's a way better thing to come to LA or come see you. What's the closest airport?
What? Well, we're here in closer to where Sacramento is
Sacramento.
airport.
Yeah, it's like this thing's like 14-seater. Probably be there in
Wow.
like 4 hours.
How much is it in gas per
Can't-
hour to fly?
That's a good question. I'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, part of the reason these guys have a jet, they're doing research on how to burn fuel more efficiently and stuff like this. So it's but they're also into kind of holistic healing as well. So they travel to different places to be able.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of dealing with autistic kids. So we're filming some of the work that they do. And they're like,
Uh-huh.
hey, we've got a big hangar. Do you want studio space? We said, heck yeah. They're like, okay. And now, like the airport where there's an airport like 15 minutes from us here in Ladner, a smaller airport,
Uh-huh.
not an international airport. But all of a sudden the doors closed. They didn't have space for their plane. And they found these guys, Martini Film Studios, who have their own like airfield. And
Wow.
like, I guess they use it to fly in, you know, like, celebrities and stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? Like what, like, of course, that's a way to do it, right? If you're at a studio, a film studio, you don't want to go to the airport. You're just going to fly in on the private air, runway and go into the
Oh, yeah,
studio
definitely.
and shoot your
Yeah.
scenes and be back to LA the same day or whatever. So anyway, it was kind of a coincidence because the studio just bought the exact same plane that these guys have. And they're like, so they're kind of warmed up to them parking their plane there. They're like, oh, we just bought that same plane. Anyway, we're going to go see them tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, like maybe I can get a free ride, right?
That's so cool.
Hey,
Oh,
Garner wants
Look at
to
this.
catch a
Oh,
ride down to LA.
I was doing.
Hey, boatman.
Yeah, I can actually get
How come
the
his
boat
arms?
guy to work. I didn't get it to work correctly. This is my first attempt.
It just does T-pose.
Yeah, something like that. Then of course
But
I
you
have
had
this
the
guy.
goat with just the naked goat you had working, right?
Oh yeah. You know something? If you know you're definitely in the right place, you can walk up to someone named what was her name? They go back into my messages. I met the pink crypto
Dude,
babe.
it's awesome.
I met the pink crypto babe yesterday. I'm like, look at my butt. She's like, ooh la la.
Does that goat even have a tail? Oh, it's got a butt. That's hilarious. It needs
Yeah,
a
I know. It's
tail,
funny.
though.
What do you mean I need a
Like a
tail?
naked
Come
butt.
on, man. Hey, does I hear a
Oh,
dog
yes, that's
in
funny.
there?
Goat butt.
Oh,
Yeah, that goat needs a tail. That's a
Dude,
cool
is that you?
goat, though.
Kurt, is that you? Are you still joining? What's going on? Yeah? It still says joining above your head. What do you have, like a dial-up connection? Let me get my other avatar. Ah, Cortez. So, whenever you need someone to rough you up, call Cortez the cat. Rough you up. Look, my head is the same size as yours, Garnet.
Pretty white. Are you on Quest?
No, I'm the desktop. I actually like going on the desktop. I have to go on the desktop for now, just because until we find a full team of people to do stuff, I have to do all these things like streaming and recording. Easier on
Have you
the
ever
desktop.
used mobile?
Hey Brian, I'm
Yeah,
back.
it's fun. Oh, Kurt, what's up, dude?
Hey,
Renaissance
it's funny.
fair.
Your avatar looked like some translucent woman with a dress on. It was totally materializing for me as a guest. For some reason, it didn't log me in like it in first time.
Waking up.
Can you hear me? Okay.
It's like jittery.
Am I breaking
Maybe it's the
up?
world. I don't know.
I can't stand the audio. I can't stand the audio in spatial. At least the problems with it.
Really? The FBI
Yeah, so you're not
looking
hearing
out for you? The FBI looking out for you? Is that why they're cutting your
Yeah.
audio out?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured as much. I was a translucent lady before. This is the lantern girl. La, la, la.
Yeah, that thing. What's that all about?
What do you mean? What's that all about? You don't got a problem? A problem? Dude, I'm the lantern girl. I am a translucent lady. I didn't know I'm a lady.
Translucent.
Translucent, yes. So we'll see who shows up. I'm gonna call out everybody. Okay, I'm streaming to Facebook right now. Guess what?
Oh, I
Facebook?
should. I'll do a tweet too.
Yes. Guess what, Facebook? I know you're watching. If you don't get your ass in here right now, unfriend me.
So do you have a Ready Player Me or two? Or no? Can you hear me?
You sound like it's like I forget what it's kind of
What
like
about-
sounding like every other word is breaking up. It's like a weird mishmash.
And towards the place. Why?
It's weird. It's almost like digital distortion.
Yeah, my wireless connection. Like part of the reason.
What happened? You have a
Not a
bad
slow
internet
connection.
connection?
Slow.
A slow?
Um,
Oh.
yeah,
How do
but
you
it'll
do
work.
VR in general if you have a slow connection?
It works. It works for me. You can do it in VR chat, no problem. It's spatial. That's the issue. Strange.
Interesting. I wonder why it's a problem in here.
But for
So
mobile,
how's
it's very
everything
useful.
going, Kurt?
All right, been playing in Banter. Have you heard of that?
Wow, it's weird. It's like you're playing. It's like you're talking at 1.5 speed.
Have you heard of
The other word, Garnet. Can you hear him?
Yep. A little broken up though.
Yeah. Banter. I was interested in Banter until the statement said that we will absolutely not have anything to do with blockchain or cryptocurrency. And then I was like, no, I don't think so. Is it any good?
Banter?
Yeah, Banter.
Never heard of it.
It's from the person who originally made Altspace, right?
Oh. It's out there? Have you seen it?
Launched it right before a little while before Altspace.
Yeah, and this is the first I've even heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
How's it working? Is it you able to upload stuff to it?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, in the
If you can hear me,
messages.
it's like,
See? Typing
typing
messages
messages
inside
on-
the screen, Gordon.
oh, he can't see him.
You should be able to
Can't
see him.
messages.
All right. You should be able to.
Uh,
No, you can't see him.
Headset
Gordon?
user doesn't see him.
Gordon.
But you're seeing him,
What? What?
Oh
What?
yeah, I totally see him.
right?
Do you see the messages on the right of the screen?
Yeah.
That's Kurt. He can't talk because his audio is messed up.
Oh. Yeah, I was saying to Colin today, I said we'd like to, I don't know, open up dialogue between SessionWire and Spatial, just to see if they can help
Oh
the
yeah,
whole audio.
definitely.
Because, I mean, it's really bad on music channels because music doesn't sound great in there.
Oh, in here, it's caca. They need to fix it completely better.
Hopefully we can
It
help
sounds
out with
terrible.
that. Banter
Yeah, I'm interested.
VR.
Yeah, go
Has
there.
Colin actually connected with Spatial?
So Banter has full body avatars. Everything you need. Banter
Yeah,
has
he's near
everything.
me, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How is their sort of face tracking? Because that's kind of been the weak side of Spatial. Like the eye contact was always really good in Altspace VR, and then I always find the conversations in
Oh,
here very
yeah.
disconnected.
Facial
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's that?
RPMs, they're not very good. Where do you hear me?
Yeah, we can
in
barely
Banter-
hear you. Did you say it's not very good? I think the problem with all of these places is they're trying too hard to make the characters look good. They should just make them very simple.
Yeah, Altspace, like I get it. That's the challenge is when we were in Altspace, we wanted cooler avatars, but the one thing we really had was good connection, Like when you talk to someone, it
Yes,
felt like you were
exactly.
talking to a person. Like, it's how the eyes followed you and blinked, and it felt really, yeah, it just felt connected because
It
Avatar
just
was always
blinked,
looking.
Garnet. Just
What's that?
blinked. Just blinked. I have no eyes.
I blinked.
Yeah, you did.
Well, that's good. Yeah, half the time when you're talking to someone, they're staring off into space, no eye contact, and it's
Yeah, I
not
know,
cool.
right? I don't know why these avatars Ready Player Me, I don't know if I like them at all. I think they just sort of feel like not real.
Yeah, it's funny how the avatars in Altspace, they had no legs and it was very, very basic, but they
Uh-huh.
conveyed the emotional presence of another human
Right.
better.
Yeah, yeah. Oh crap.
They just they know it's a problem too, but we're working on it.
They're also working on a system, I think, where people can know where and when their friends are when they're on. There is actually a third-party app that you can install or open in your browser that it is available in many VR platforms, and you know exactly which world they're in, wherever they are. You can go join them in whatever VR platform they're in. That's really what it needs. That's actually metaverse, man. That's the only thing I've seen that is like metaverse besides Ready Player Me. Yeah, it gets a little lonely here. A little lonely here in spatial.
Yeah.
See who else is on.
Oh, do you have an app that you can see your friends?
Well, there is. I just don't have it installed, or I don't have an account. You basically you friend them in the app, and it tells you which platform they're on, and if the world is public, it shows you what world you're in. So just like in alt spaces, if it was like private, you wouldn't see them, or you would seem like they were offline. How many people are on? Not many. Too many people in here. Like a ghost town.
Yeah, what's going on? I'm gonna show up.
I don't know.
I'm gonna see
Everyone is
if
dead.
Philip is around.
Everyone is dead.
Dude.
If you want, Kurt, you could try the teleporters. I make teleporters underneath the lanterns because there's no. I haven't figured out gravity how that works yet. We can turn that off and make jumping cray. Like we could jump in the air and you fly. Do this all day. Like go and smoke a blunt. Smoke a blunt. Sometimes I look into the background and wonder what's happened to us. Funny, you can see him all the way over here. It's hard because I got a Mac, a MacBook Pro 13-inch. The screen's tiny.
MacBook Pro. Oh man, I'm
Mac
very
Pro.
excited. I'm about to join the Apple family in 4 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
For the first time? Oh my God.
finally bought a new phone.
What are you gonna get?
Well, I mean, I've always had MacBook laptops,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, I use a mini Mac at school,
Uh-huh.
but I've had an Android for the last how many
Ah,
decades,
yes.
and
That-
now it's like I just got I needed a good portable camera, and
Uh-huh.
some of the Apple features in texting you can't do in Android, as weird as that is.
Is there good features in the Apple that
Yeah.
you can't do in Android?
Like just being able to kind of heart or send emojis on text messages
really?
and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. What kind of phone is yours?
I have an iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some basic things that Android phones won't do. And
I'll
I'm
have to
like,
remember this again when I become a teenager.
certain Yeah, certain emojis don't work sending from
Yeah.
iPhones to. I mean, when I have an iPhone, then we'll be able to FaceTime each other too. So that
Oh boy, what's this? Someone walking in here? Wandering?
it's the wandering whale.
The wandering whale. Hello, whale.
Welcome, welcome. He's a
Conversations for
whale
content
and he's
creators.
wandering.
What's up, whale?
I like whales.
Yeah, I like whales too. We like to eat them.
No,
You
no.
ever see that
we
show?
can't eat
Whale.
I
what
ate
was it?
whale.
The people spelled. What? Speak, whale.
He said he ate whale once.
No, that was Anders.
Well, once. What did it taste? Oh, okay. Anders, what's
in
a whale
Norway,
taste like?
in Norway, it's
really?
normal. You know, they're mammals, so it's almost like regular meat.
Interesting. Yeah, the cat Cortez here, who likes to kill rabbits and eat them in front of us. I was like, what if we walked in the room and there was a cow in there? So the first order of business on the post-mortem for virtual conversations for content creators, figure out how to get more people in here.
Bums on seats.
Yeah, we need to actually get in contact with Spatial. So Spatial, if you can hear me, we need to talk to you. I'm so bored right now. I'm rolling a blunt.
But I don't know. I mean, are you open to ideas for that, or are you just
Yeah, let's.
Thanks.
Well, we might as well talk. We might as well talk.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Wait a minute.
Just to
No
convert
one
this
said
meeting
there
into
would
a
be
meeting.
new ideas. I
What?
thought this was all about shutting down
Yes.
innovation.
Check, check. Can you guys hear me?
yo?
Hey, what's up,
Sure.
Dr. T?
Dr. T. Dr. T. Or Wandering Whale, I guess.
Oh,
Gee, what's up, man?
Well, Garnett is hounding me. He won't let me rest after my day of work. He says, get on here because I got work for you to do.
Okay, good.
yeah.
Nice.
There's no rest.
No
But after-
rest. No rest, no innovation.
Is
Forget any of
Hey,
that.
Brian, show him the goat.
Yes. Yes. This is why you came to this event.
Brad, eh?
Oh, yeah.
But the goat doesn't have a tail, so got to work on that. It's just like a goat butt.
He's not anatomically
Yeah.
correct, that's for sure.
Does a goat need to? Does do goats need their tail?
They should have a tail, I would think.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
goats normally have a tail.
Yeah, that's true. Not when they're humanoids. Okay, order.
So you had a good
We have changed the
day
format
of
of
work.
the show. We discuss. Yes, Bernard? Discuss how we get more people into the virtual events. Oh, people are showing up now, of course.
Oh yeah, Pete, open the doors, they will come. So, Dr. T, should we try to run some code?
We can do that if you'd like.
Gas is 26 Gwei right now.
Yeah.
Not bad, eh?
Reasonable.
Like, we can send a token for $2.25.
Yeah.
Something
That's
like
good.
Yeah, I mean, gas has been up in the 60s and 70s. where
80s or
it can
90s.
cost- Yeah, like $5 or $6, $7 to send an NFT. We've been
Actually,
trying to-
Garnet, one of the things we wanted to reach out to you is some stuff involving what Anders wants to do with the NFTs, his fractal marks. I don't know how much of it he wants to talk about in here specifically, but we were just bouncing some ideas around. I'm like, we should talk to Garnet.
Well, if everything goes accordingly, we're going to have a new marketplace and kind of platform to be able to kind of launch NFTs on the Polygon
Oh, really?
platform and sell them with credit cards with affiliate links. Kind
Oh,
of
wow, cool.
your whole community will be able to sell those, and you'll be able to just dial in kind of what percentage you want your affiliates if a sale is made from their particular network. So each person gets their own landing page, sort of affiliate code, and so if they want to earn extra rewards, they they can be more aggressive with sharing their links, and they could even be rewarded for like sharing. I mean, talk about getting more people into events like this. They could be rewarded for advertising the event that's coming up. But
Speaking of more people into
one
events,
step
this is the topic. Let's take it on the circle and let's figure out how we're going to get more people to come in here. Because my guess is, regardless of the VR platform, it's challenging now. You want to start talking about that? How are we going to do this?
Yeah, what's the challenge with VR platform?
Well, first of all, the challenge is now that the pandemic is subsiding and the VR world is not as popular as it was before, and some of the places don't exist, like Altspace, although there wasn't many people in there. It was a very tight community. How do we create that vibe in here? Because I know there is this kind of camaraderie in VR chat, except the problem with VR chat is I think it's too big in some ways. And that, not only that, they're behind the times in technology. They're only on like Unity 2019. Meanwhile, the reason Spatial is probably the most advanced platform there is because it's based on WebGL. It means you could use it on a cell phone. You cannot do VR chat on your cell phone unless you are a complete hyper nerd. So what is the problem here? We need to direct towards, let's say, Spatial.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like building that. I think the find a friend is like,
that is critical. They don't have that. They're going to be launching that soon.
Yeah, and maybe the front page just sort of shows the events that are happening, but it seemed like
it got worse to read. It's like all over the place now.
Altspace actually did have a pretty good sort of, like when you jumped into the platform, you sort of saw what was going on. You saw where everybody was, and you're like, yeah, let me go to the comedy club or kind of whatever. And then for new people like us, it seemed like they were willing to sort of list us, on the front page, and like
it looks like Spatial's page looks like Amazon. Like I'm looking at Amazon finding a book. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I found the book. Yeah, they definitely need to change this interface. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's almost like when you go to like a TV guide or something like that, you want to see the upcoming shows and the spaces that are coming, kind of.
There's a new.
Whoa, what was that? I am going to start a Google Doc. Okay.
Like what have some of the most popular spatial sites been? Like I see a bunch of new ones that have sort of game quests kind of engaged in them. Like I haven't really been in this space since we had hosted our last event.
Well, what's happening is every single week or so they're doing an update, and they're coming up with a new SDK or an update to the SDK, And what's happening is they're coming out with all these fantastic things, except the problem is you have to be a super nerd in order to use them. And luckily they have a Slack channel, the Slack channel for the creators. Luckily they have that, which is pretty helpful. But I feel like I have all these tools, but I'm almost lost on how to use them sometimes. And all of this connection, but yet it's like, how do we connect people? That's kind of what I feel is the problem here. And I think it's honestly, Gordon, I think you nailed it. I think a lot of it has to do with the website and the interface.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is that this to start any event is not the easiest thing to do, and it just takes work and networking and advertising and getting the word out there and just kind of like meeting people. There are people in this platform, and you're just not friends with all of them yet. And we're new to this platform in general, and it just takes going out and going to these other worlds and meeting people here, and then also advertising in all of our other networks to expand reach and expand
Right.
like a lot of people don't know what this stuff is all about, right? So it's just about getting the word out.
It's funny because in Altspace, the interface was set up so nicely that half the people or 2/3 of the people that rolled through my events weekly, I didn't even know who they were. And I think what it was, it's just the way they set it up. They hit the golden egg or something like that, where you would look and all of a sudden you would see a live event. Oh, let me jump in. It doesn't. I think if they fix the interface, it would probably help a lot. I wonder how many people are on Spatial right now. Navigate the website. It's like all over the place. Yeah, they need to fix that. So one of the things that we are doing to sort of help or corral marketing for two events, the one we're doing today and the one we're going to do in Heartland VR tomorrow, is there's a website called Better Worlds. See if it's betterworlds.org. Yeah, it's betterworlds.com. And Better Worlds is a website to help bring together regenerative education. It helps to save the planet kind of ideology. And it was the brainchild of Michael Mitchell, who has been working in the architecture industry for a very long time. And he was just like, I need to help the world's presence in China. And we are actually working on doing some of this stuff with them with my D Studio group. So we're going to do some outreach through them. I guess what other kind of outreach do you think we need to do?
Yeah, like obviously on Twitter, you can if we know these meetings are going to be every week, we just give people a little more heads up time. And then from the GOATS perspective, we can let our community know that we're going to be meeting in here for creative meetings and stuff like that. We'll pull in a little bit of support from the GOAT side.
I think now that this doesn't have the golden kind of experience that Altspace did, we're definitely going to have to come together. And I'm actually happy it doesn't, because I think everyone just kind of got that handed to them, and no one really actually understood what it was like to build a community because everything was just automatically working. But I think in a lot of ways, this is just good because we actually have to do the work it takes to build a community. Now, I guess a lot of people don't have the experience that someone like Anders does and me by being immersed in stuff like this more than just in virtual reality, but actual physical reality, just many years of community building. What I've done in my life, what he's doing in his life and now. So I think it's just a really good experience for people to actually go out there, even if it's just on the social medias, whatever it is, and just start talking about what they're doing.
Yeah, I wonder if there's certain topics that like the community that's hopping into Spatial would see and go like, hey, this is an interesting topic I want to hop in here.
You know, Spatial just had a page that looked like Facebook. It would solve all these problems.
In what way?
Writing the notes. I think if Spatial had a very simple social media page that arranged where all the events were happening and the worlds. So imagine the way Facebook is laid out. Now imagine a social VR platform laid out that way, where you had your friends list, you had different things on your feed. The things on your feed could be events. You have an events tab and all these different things, but laid out the way Facebook did, because obviously Facebook did a pretty good job at it. There's so many people on there, millions and millions of people on Facebook. Maybe they laid out the website more like Facebook. It would be a little bit more useful, especially when you have friends on here.
Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, definitely. Just being able to, I mean, the whole thing behind a messenger app is that you've got your list of friends and you want to message them or go hang out with them, you know?
Yeah,
But-
exactly. How do you even do that on here? Yeah. But I think I'm just writing down some quick things. So if anyone else has any thoughts, I'm writing them down because we plan on reaching out to Spatial. It's just we are working on a few other things at the same time. We can actually talk about creative stuff too.
Mm.
Let me see, who do we got here? We've got Atessa, I know from Altspace, Wandering Whale, friends of Garnet, Kurt from Altspace Beyond. Anders, I don't if you want to maybe go over some of the stuff that you're working on creatively.
Yeah, totally. Well,
Everyone
one
else
other
pretty
thing
much
I
knows
did
me.
right now is I just shared in Spatial Discord that we're doing this thing. So that's another great place, to communicate when we're doing stuff.
Yeah, I did on the Slack. I should have done it on the Discord next time. So why don't you share a little bit, Anders, about what you're working on? Maybe we can do, this could be the interview. I don't know if we're going to go for an hour and a half in here. One of the things I have the pleasure of being a part of is the Heartland Collective. And the Heartland Collective founder, Anders, is standing right next to me. Actually, he's in the other room, actually physically. And we were together in a cohort called Design Science Studio, sponsored by Buckminster Fuller Institute, where people came in with projects that were kind of impact projects, something that was powerfully and positively impacting the world. And I met Anders from another project he was working on called Fractomarks, which is an NFT-based and digital item that he came with to the Design Science Studio, but he had this much larger thing that he had been working on for many years now called Heartland Collective. So the universe brought me here. So welcome, Anders.
Thanks,
Tell
man.
us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to start. I kind of feel like I've been in a cave for the last 10 years because I used to be in tech, and now, and then I had somewhat of an awakening, one that many of us have heard about or many of us have kind of experienced. And I realized that, man, I just wasn't stoked on my life anymore. And the businesses that I was building just weren't really designed to fulfill my life purpose, and they weren't, they were meeting some needs, but it wasn't what I was here to do. So I had to essentially end all of that and reinvent my life and refigure out, what it was. And I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, so I really enjoy solving problems. I think that's what entrepreneurs do. And one of the biggest problems I really saw was that so many artists and so many creatives and so many, especially entrepreneurs that were doing socially good projects, weren't fully, the models of these businesses weren't fully in alignment with maybe what other what's the easiest to get funding for. So I wanted to kind of just take a step back and create and figure out that big problem, because if these projects aren't being funded, and if these people that are running these things that are actually really good for humanity aren't actually of interest, for whatever reason, then our species is in big trouble. And so what I started studying a lot was nature, and I started studying biomimicry, and I lived in the jungle for many years, and I just really realized that the environment that exists in the jungle for all of those different species was really, really awesome. These people, all the animals there, all of the bugs, all the insects, the soil is in such amazing state, and it creates this environment for everything to truly thrive in. And what I began to realize was that most of us humans are living in places that are not inspiring, that working at jobs that we don't totally love, and our frequency as a whole just is not where it needs to be, or where it can be, or where it can be for us to fully feel great in ourselves. And so I kind of had a lot of things to figure out, and somehow, some way, I found myself up on a mountain, found a cave essentially to be in, and that's when I found farming. And I didn't do anything for about 3 or 4 years. I just stayed up on a farm, and I was off my computer and was off all of my technology, and just to kind of figure out, well, how can I create a solution for this really, really big problem? And that's also when I got into permaculture. And when I was farming for my first time up there, I realized the more time I spend with these plants, and the more energy I put into these plants, the more stoked they got, the more energized they were, the bigger they got, the more healthy they were. And I relate that a lot to people, right? And I relate that a lot to how we treat our culture. And taking a step back to what I was talking about before, like artists and creatives and so many other people that are just not in that environment that's purely designed for them to thrive in. That they're not in environments that they're not surrounded by creativity, they're not surrounded by art, they're not surrounded by, they're not eating healthy, organic, non-processed foods, they're not, around people that are, exciting potentially to be around. And this is normal, right? And all of those things are normal. And so I kind of got really excited to build something from scratch. And I wanted to design a real place. I wanted to design a real place which considered all of these different problems. And then I wanted to make this into a living model, something that I refer to as being a regenerative living model, where all of our needs are met, where we have people around that are supportive in the ways that they want to be supportive in. We have somebody here that loves to make, to cook food, a chef, and that's what they love to do. We'll have somebody here that is in the farm that loves to grow food, and then that's what they get to do. And we have, other people here filling various different roles that are exactly what they love to do. And what happens with all of that is that we create this frequency. And from that frequency, as we invite other businesses and we invite other startups and other people to come in here, something really, really magical, will happen. And so now we're 10 years into this whole project here, and we have this 2-acre farm. We have, many glamping places. We've hosted 11 or more 200-person events. We've had, 15 or so, 15 or so larger events Now we're doing glamping and Airbnb and all of these things, and it's now all I see it actually working. I see what's actually happening, and I see how positive it is for the people that come into this frequency that are kind of these different things. And we've all done this. Our small team here, mostly volunteers over these last 10 years, have been just donating our time and just really been investing our time into creating this reality together so that we can create this model, because this model doesn't actually cost a lot of money. And so what's really fun about all this is that now that we have all these models created and we have all of these we have all these agreement fields and all these other things, now we can share it with the world. And because I had a tech background, I actually didn't think I was going to come back and touch tech with the 10-foot pole because I was loving my life so much. But then I ruptured my Achilles heel last year, and I kind of was down for 4 months, and I realized, oh shit, like I am really privileged. This life is really privileged, and the people that live within 2 or 3 or 4 hours from here can come here and come enjoy this space and the things that we're creating. But what about the 99.999% of other people in the world? And that's when I got introduced to virtual reality. And what's so amazing, about that is that now we have these platforms and these ways so that we can duplicate what we're doing actually in real life. Like in the beginning, I was a little bit scared of virtual reality because I only saw it as a Ready Player One type thing where people just had to exit their real life because their real life sucked so bad, so they had to hide and they had to live in a different world. It's fine to use technology and play games and all of that stuff, but if you're escaping the very thing that we're here to do, then I think that there might be a better way to live. And so here, we live here in Northern California, and we created this really, really amazing place. Now we've modeled it in VR, and now it's all done, and it's here on Spatial. We're hosting an event every Thursday about how to live life 3.0, how to actually live a regenerative life. We're bringing different speakers and different people, and it's just really fun. And this conversation we're having here is all about creativity, and it's so fun that so many more people jumped in here and we can talk about creativity, like the fact that I was creative and crazy and chose to really jump off the cliff and dive into something I definitely didn't have enough money to do, has now manifested because of the help of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that have come through here and believed in this vision, because this type of vision is we as humans really, really need in order to create a new world that is much more regenerative, and good for all. So I just want to talk about creativity here, So Brian, that's a little bit about me, and want to hear more about the creativity in the hearts of all the peeps here.
Yeah, awesome. Now that everyone's showed up, it's great. So many people here from back in alt space and beyond. And the normal thing that we do here at Virtual Conversations for Content Creators is we go around this circle and we talk about what we're working on. We talk about all the creativity in our life, and we also talk about stuff that we're interested in learning. And we're here as a community to help people who want to be creative learn how to do whatever they want to do and really help foster them. We have a Discord server that should be in the description of the event. But normally what we do is we pass it along, and John Connors, I don't know if you could talk right now. John Connors, you get your mic on. That would mean you're next. You would introduce yourself, tell us what you're working on. We have some neat people too. I'm working with John Connors on a higher creative level, doing all sorts of fun stuff to save the world. I'm not sure whether or not, I think this might be his first time in Spatial. I don't know if his mic works. You could type it also in the chat.
Did you hear me?
Excellent.
You hear me
Yes,
now?
I got you, John Connors. Break it
Thank
down.
you, Brian. Really appreciate the work you're doing, creating the virtual twin up in your intentional community. You're a cultural mover and shaker. Thanks for making this happen. But some of us, we just got off a phone call, but we ran about an hour and a half talking about the East Palestine chemical spill. and sort of a a bit of a downer issue, because this vinyl chloride in people's urine and their blood and their in their community. There's toxic dust. There's government mishandling and potential corruption. And we're just trying to get people together to learn more about the issue and hopefully, get medical. How we're doing VR, how we're incorporating VR into it is that mass pollution events are typically not something you can go hang out in and experience life because of the danger of that the pollution, brings to the people. We're looking to, work with Brian and work with smart people here that might have some skills to create a virtual world of the blast zone that in East Palestine, right here in Spatial IO, where we can go and learn about what happened and unpack this really intense story and have this artifact after the fact and also party in it on June 17th. So, it's coming up pretty soon, so we don't know how sophisticated the world is going to end up being. But we've had a really, really great time, even with the heavy subject matter, because I think one of the things that we're lacking in society today is that if you build competence when you're incompetent about an issue, there's a release of dopamine and serotonin. And I think it's the exact opposite. Like we structured our podcast series with Better Worlds, a partner that Brian's also partnering with here for this experience. We created this news show, and the news typically seems to leave people scared and sad and anxious. And we're instead looking to make it where it's like, what if the news made you competent, where we work together, we go on Discord afterwards, we have Zoom meetings where we explore solutions, and then we go out and celebrate those solutions after the fact. So that's what we're looking to do in VR, and we're all noobs. We're just eco-inspired, and we thank you very much, Brian, and everybody here for showing up and learning about new things, new experiences.
Excellent. So John Connors just explained the amazingness of the work that we're doing with Better Worlds and his Restorathon that he's been working very hard on, and we have been collaborating with through D Studio. So would you mind maybe just taking a minute and talking a little bit about the Restorathon? I'd love for people to explain that. Maybe just a quick shout out to Better Worlds and its mission, because I didn't do such a good job.
Definitely, Brian. Thank you for that. So I'll start with the Better Worlds. So Basil, who's running around here as Nature Boy, is a Jedi wizard who really and truly is a creative artistic genius. And I've done 3 of these Restorathons prior, which are like Earth Restoration meets Hackathon for those of us in the tech world, which I think some of us here would be. You kind of come together to solve tech problems. We come together to solve eco problems. And Basil and the Better Worlds team and Daniel and have an incredible, rich network of change makers, especially in the ecotech world. It's just a really high level. It's the varsity club, and then the output of creating content with them, which you can go to restore-a-thon.com to get a feeling of what we're up to. And if you /Ohio, you'll see the one we're focusing on right now. And the content that's created in partnership with Better Worlds is just next level. The intention of Better Worlds, as I'm hearing it, and from stakeholder meetings, is they're looking to be CNN of regeneration. So yet again, imagine if the news is teaching us how to regenerate and restore and replenish the planet. That's the goal of Better Worlds. And yeah, we'll definitely share those links as soon as I learn how to do that, Garnet. Thank you for the question. So with Restorathon, we're considering and we're hoping if we can monetize this first one. We tend to do things based on inspiration, passion, and love for the planet first, and then think about monetizing later because we have to eat. But if we can monetize this one, we're looking to do an 8-week cycle in every bioregion on the planet until the Earth is restored the way we want it to look. And that 8-week cycle starts with three episode news-like episodes to build ecological competence, and then moves into about a 4-week ecological hackathon called the Restorathon. we come together and we come up with solutions. We started out talking about micro remediation and mushrooms that'll eat all these pollutions. And what we're learning now from the boots on the ground is people just want to get the hell out of town. They want to, they don't even want to filter their water anymore. They want a state of emergency declared in Ohio so that the funding will be released to get them out of town and get their families out of town because they're peeing vinyl chloride right now. It's just it's unfortunate. So we listen to the people, we listen to the community, and sorry.
I'm just saying, sorry, my audio was cutting out. So sorry if I interrupted you. I'm just saying it's horrible. This is just horrible to hear and amazing to hear what you started and what we're working on.
Thank you. And Charles Eisenstein, some of us in the regenerative circles know, is actually working with the Robert Kennedy campaign. He joined our call today. Another gentleman named Fidel Moreno is also working on the Bobby Kennedy campaign. And Bobby Kennedy, some don't love because of the vax issues. He made his career in 37 years as an ecological litigator, and he's been fighting against corporate corruption and pollution for a long period of time. And we're getting their attention. And in a perfect world, imagine if a political campaign didn't just take money to change our brains to make us vote a certain way, but actually community built and restored and regenerated the planet in its wake. So that's the kind of pitch we have in front of the Bobby Kennedy campaign right now. And on June 17th, we're going to do our restorative rave in VR. And also in the morning, this is an idea from Mariette Papich of the Design Science Studio, who is also part of our community. She said, what if we just held a listening party? We don't come with a solutions mindset, which is my go-to almost all the time. And what if we just listen to people on the ground who right now are being gaslit and being told that they're lying about their symptoms and that they're peeing these nasty toxic substances. So we're just going to give a really beautiful space. Definitely, scrap together a few bucks. We might be able to do it in person. You know what I mean? We're just going to show up and listen to people's stories and feel and grieve with them. Because there's angst, there's anxiety, there's just all these things that they're dealing with on the ground that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's just amplified for them because of the fear of cancer and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Mary.
Anything else, Brian?
We got to get her to come in. We got to get her to come into one of these events. I love her.
No
Awesome.
question on that. Yeah.
So anything else, John Connors? Because I think we're technically we were going to have a time limit on people, but it just became so haphazard in here. We were just shooting the breeze, and then everyone just started showing up. And I definitely wanted to give you some time to talk about the amazingness, especially.
Thank you. Yeah. One of the things, Brian, that comes up for me is a call to action. If anybody here has VR skills and they can help us, I don't have my notes in front of me, Brian. So what exact tools are we looking to create the VR world with? And we need someone with a Windows computer to help us create this world.
So I don't have to have a nervous breakdown because me and Anders are working on like 1,200 different projects. We need someone who has skills using Blender. It's better to be on Windows because the tool only works on Windows. And what the tool will do is it'll take the Google geolocation of the exact place in Palestine that he's talking about, where the oil spill, where the spill was, and it'll pull out the data from Google Maps and make a quick virtual 3D model. It'll make a 3D model of the whole entire place. And then what we're going to do in 2 weeks or 3 weeks is like 2 weeks from now. When's the event?
June 17th. So it's looking like 15 days from now.
Yeah, basically use that space to upload into a spatial to have a Raven. So someone who's good with Blender and uses Windows.
Then that would be really amazing. So if you could reach out, I'll put in the chat my contact information. So Blender, another thing Basil had mentioned, and he's Nature Boy standing right behind Brian. Yeah, Basil,
he just gave me a traumatic experience by looking at his face like this uncanny valley, dude.
Basil, do you have any color that you wanted to add to like train assets or visual assets that we could ask the community for?
He's got
no
mic. I got no mic.
So
we'll get back to it. We can chat on the Discord, the spatial Discord. I'm guessing almost every single one of you are probably on the spatial Discord at least.
I'm not, but I will be after this.
Excellent. What's the Discord? Oh crap! Got to get this guy the Discord. We have multiple Discords. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Boogie. I don't know if she's still here. I know she said she had to do something with a class she was working on. If you're here, Boogie, just say hi. If not, we love you. Yeah, I think she's at a class, a training session. But Boogie, oh, I jumped out of nowhere. Boogie has amazing things that she does in New York, including a nonprofit, the Harlem Film Festival. And she does a lot of amazing stuff out there with music and movie production, amplification, bring out the important communities that we need to be heard, that need to be heard. She has brought all of this beautiful environment into places like AltSpace. I'm not sure if she's working in VR chat at all, but she's definitely doing some stuff in spatial since she's Spatian guide. But Boogie is definitely fantastic. Hopefully next session she'll have a chance to talk. So, well, who is next? We have Peter picking on you. I know you're tiny there, but man, you look pretty powerful. Peter Choice.
Am I getting called out here now? Am I? All
yeah,
right.
you have to speak.
No, it's fine. I actually wanted to speak. So yeah, I have been working with Choice. We're an organization it started with the LGBTQ community, but it has grown into so much more. Our centralized idea is decentralization of Web3 and I guess in the world in a sense, I've wandered in here because, saving the planet is important, environmental protection and everything. And, this opportunity to help this organization kind of fell in my lap. And then I finally realized, what's the best way to make a change? And it's to change the mindset of people, because the planet won't get saved without people. And, therewith lies the diversity, equality, and inclusion. We need to all start working more together to make these changes. Like the information on how to do it, the information on how we're destroying the planet is one thing, but if the people aren't supporting each other around us, how can we make a change? One person can do their duty, yeah, but that's the bigger picture. There is getting everybody on board to do it. And in an aspect, humans in history are selfish. They usually care about themselves, and if they care about themselves and they don't care about others, how would they even care about the planet? That's how I see it. I mean, so it not only starts with getting the information out there, but it's also trying to change the mindset of people to just support and help each other in the aspect of saving the planet. Because, like I said, it's not just one person doing their duty; it's all of us.
Well, I don't think a lot of people get that. I think sometimes ignoring the problem, not even just trying to help a little bit, is even almost worse than the problem in itself. And just everyone coming together just for a little support is so helpful. I think it's just really important in general for people just to give whatever support they can. It doesn't have to be all of their life's work, but just something. Maybe it's just someone needs a hug, who knows? But something. And to speak out when they feel that if something is wrong. To speak out when they feel like people are not being treated the way they should be treated. Reach out when they feel like the planet's being destroyed.
Well, that's the biggest problem with society today, is people turning a blind eye. The saying, see something, say something. It can be with anything: saving the planet, helping the LGBT community, helping, any community in a sense. If you turn a blind eye to it, you're almost as bad as those people that are actually causing it, in my opinion. I can't say that for everybody, but, I didn't always think like this. But as I've gotten older, you realize that, not supporting one another is just counterproductive. I mean, there's no reason not to give that pat on the back or a hug per se,
Yeah, I was saying a perfect world, a perfect world that was decentralized, where everyone had value. Even someone holding space for another person who is working is an important role in life. Everything is an important role, and then when we start to emphasize that, we'll start to realize that that's why everyone is valuable, and why money is almost not needed anymore, and why people just do things. So I think really this is the good kind of push towards that direction. they say that 2012 was going to be the end of the world in some minds when they saw the Mayan calendar and all these doomsday movies came out. But the reality is the Mayans just knew it was the end of the solar calendar and the beginning of a new one. And that beginning was the beginning of something called the collective consciousness. I really think VR has a big part of that, where people just come together. We can actually almost feel each other's emotions. We can be who we are in here if we want to. We could be so many different things. So now is the time to speak your mind, because a lot of people will listen and maybe be less afraid to then speak their mind too. This is what we're here for. So thanks, Peter Choice.
No, of course. It's funny you say that because, you know, I'm fresh with Web3, AI, AR, everything, metaverses. And, you know, I keep hearing people say that 2023 is the year of collaboration, which in a sense, that just means everybody supporting each other. And it's true. You know, Web3 right now is in, everybody keeps calling it, the bear market. It's this lull where there's no money and we all just need to support each other to keep it going, because it is a beautiful thing. It is the future. I mean, this is going to push technology and the mindset further in a sense.
Yeah, this is definitely the future. I've been doing this for such a long time now, just in general creatives, ever since I was born in the 70s. Burning Man, television production, music, and the pandemic sort of brought me into this VR development because as you could see in this space, a lot of this looks like Burning Man. This is the first thing I built This is the first thing I built in VR for BRCVR back in 2020 when it was in alt space. Most of it is pretty much the same it was before. I've just changed some of the materials a little bit, but I saw that I was able to take my design and the stuff that I did for something like Burning Man and actually share that with the world and help inspire other people to take creativity and then make a positive impact. And then, of course, we started this virtual conversations for content creators, me and Garnet over here, about 2.5 years ago, where we foster a creative community where either we talk about projects we're working on, or we have other people talk about stuff that they're interested in learning how to do. So we can then foster the creative community of people who do it and people who want to be creative. We have a Discord. It's in the event description. Yes, it's in the event description too. And I think Garnet just posted it on here also. So if anyone wants to join, feel free. We're going to have this event once a week, every single Wednesday, 5 to 6:30. It's going to be a little bit more structured next time because we're going to try to organize a little bit better. It's a little different than Altspace. Altspace was a little bit easier because there was an events page, and we had a bunch of people roll in. We had our format. We all hung out and we talked. And then in this spatial environment, we're going to do the same thing, but towards the end, we're going to have an interview also for someone in the creative industry. So let's see, who else was not talking yet? Peter, by the way, are you done? Are you complete?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent.
Thank you for letting me speak. I mean, this is awesome.
You're
I love
welcome.
everything on here.
This is what this place is for. Let's see, I'm going to start picking on people because I'm a lantern girl.
Such good fun, Brian. I thought I recognized this space. Those
Really?
lanterns from a few years ago. It's
Oh,
Echo.
yeah,
How are you, friend?
Just another life, living the life here at Heartland Collective.
What a
This
fun
is-
avatar you've got there. Is that like you've got like some kind of see-through cosmic cyborg with a dress going on?
This is funny. This is the reason I made this avatar is if you look here in the direction behind Boogie, you'll see a pavilion with real world photos in them, or physical world photos. Those are from my wife's Lantern Girls, and she is the founder of something called Chinese Beyond Borders. And Chinese Beyond Borders, the culture of Greater China and the culture and the art of Greater China to Burning Man and beyond. And she's been going to Burning Man for quite a while too. And she does Chinese lantern inspired dresses. So when we first had the pandemic in 2020, normally we would go to Burning Man because that's our wedding anniversary. We were married there. So we weren't able to go there. So what did I do? I was like, man, let me create something. What the heck would I create? It's the pandemic. I don't even have a table saw. Like, wait a second. We can create virtual reality because I've been doing 3D modeling for a very long time just to create these sculptures that I've been working on. So then we created this environment basically as I did it as an anniversary gift in some ways, but
That's lovely. What a cool
experience Burning Man.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad I asked. I mean, it's definitely got a little bit of that taste. I recognize the lanterns, and I actually recognize seeing Junction over there from like seeing the young elder represent on one of the other placards there.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like creative expression is one of the most powerful things on the planet. And if we use it correctly and wisely and just use it in general, a lot of things will change. So why don't you say a few things about yourself now that you open your mouth? Now it's your turn.
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean, as I posted in the thing, I would need it seems like Mac got dropped from VR development, so I'm gonna need a PC before I can contribute too much. I've got a 360 camera. I'd love to know anything about taking real world data like we've got with East Palestine and what
We just want to hear about you, man. We just want to hear about you. Tell us about yourself.
I'm just here with a bunch of friends who, some of whom are going back to Ohio. We were just on that other call, and I'll collect with you on that other topic. I joined the Discord too. Great to see y'all. I'm into real land projects and making gardens that are geometric shapes. So I put a mandala of trees around and a labyrinth of raised beds, and I'm here with some other like land project folks who are working on garden beds and other things.
Oh, fantastical. We're going to be doing this every single week, 5 o'clock to 6:30 Pacific. We got a good showing this time. We better keep it going or else I don't know what I'm going to do. Anders, I told him I would go over there and walk out into the field with the cows and not come back. But he doesn't even want to acknowledge that because he knows it's true. Okay, who else do we got? We got Eco. Eco, do you want to say anything? You got the mic. If you can. I know some of you may be new. Eco, for some reason, you seem like you've been in spatial before, just by your outfit.
Echo? Echoes who just spoke.
Echo? Echo. Is it Echo? Was it Echo who just spoke?
Was Echo
Oh,
who
okay.
just spoke, yeah.
That's how bad I am with spatial. Sorry, Echo. That's my bad. I wasn't even paying attention because I'm on my little tiny MacBook Pro. Who else would like to speak? Anyone? Yeah, I definitely got to do some headset next time.
Boogie?
Barnett? Boogie is in a class right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I've been really inspired just like listening to Anders and just kind of the vision that you guys have been going for. It's inspiring to see like you guys create something just literally out of your imagination and like being in process of building that. And it's like that's kind of the space that I'm in right now, just with some of the projects, actually just a brand new project. I work at a film school, and because school is out for the summer, I'm sort of been open for work and just reaching out to some of my friends who I know are creative as well. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And sort of really speaking into people's vision and encouraging people. And this one friend of mine, she's very gifted just in healing and helping people in their personal problems and sort of healing their soul, mind, spirit. I was just encouraging her, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing with your gifts? Like, let's do something, amazing. Let's do something great. And we, just in a conversation, sort of like we're having here tonight, where, we're all sharing our hearts and stuff like this. We started talking about what would be the ultimate thing. Well, we want to see people's lives transformed. And we just, what would be fun for us too. And of course, I'm a, video film producer. We started talking about a reality show about people's transformation. And out of that little conversation, it just blew up into like reality. She's like, you know what? Like, this is it. Like, the more we talked, the more she lit up. She's like, I'm selling my house and I'm going
Right.
all in, you know? And she, you know, she talked to her husband. He's like, yeah, like this has been your calling your entire life. Like, let's do this, you know? And so we're beginning production on a 10 episode reality series, which is kind of about holistic healing, but there'll be people we select who we feel their stories are going to be something we want to show to the nations of their transformation. Part of it involves weight loss as well, but beyond that, and part of it releasing them into their dreams. And so that's been cool, just seeing what, you know, we're giving ourselves a short time frame of like 3 to 4 months, and just the doors are opening up all around us, just stepping in sort of partially by faith, but partially in reality. Like all of these projects we've been talking about tonight, they take resources, and anyone who's in the creative field, like, you know, me in films, half the time we've got a dozen projects ready to go, but we don't have the right people together yet to launch them, to green light them, right? To provide the resources to make some of these things go. So when things do line up and the resources just present themselves, then it's like, whoa, like, let's do this, let's go. And yeah, I guess getting back to just hearing everyone's conversations, a lot of times creators can seem like the dreamers, like, well, we've got this vision, we want to change the world in this way. But it is conversations like these that actually trigger reality, real action into happening. And it's funny, even before this stuff, I had retweeted Steve Jobs, who was giving a talk on the Apple brand back in the 90s. And he was talking about, you know, at that time, Apple was kind of in the top 10 brands in computing. And he was saying, yeah, our brand has been neglected. And they had just brought out this new campaign, which was, this is to all the crazy misfits who believe in the impossible, right? And he was saying, this is our community. These are our people who, you know, it's just not using computers to solve a problem, but to, you know, unleashing dreams. We're part of a community of dreamers, and we do make impossible things possible, right? So anyway, and yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're working on Garnet. That was fantastic.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, and
Do you-
Wandering Panda, he's part of our crypto project. He's down in Texas, works at an aerospace engineering firm, but of course he is helping us with all of our code on the blockchain side, and we're actually working on it simultaneously. But it takes a team to make these kind of things happen. And, you know, again, that's like we were talking about tonight too. Anyone who's got skills, you know, Blender skills, that's so cool about, you know, Palestine. We hear these stories on the news and you go, oh, that's so sad, you know, and it's like this, and realize, wow, there's people actually working on solutions to change the people's lives in those communities.
Thank you. It's like White Mirror.
Is that you?
Yeah, what were you saying? White Mirror?
Yeah, I was saying it's like a white mirror. You know, we can come into VR and change the world in the virtual world as well as the real world. So thank you for
You know,
the
it's funny you
acknowledgement.
mention that, because I was on a project called that. It changed to Wise Mirror, but it's about telling the fantastical stories of the future based on the modern day technology, being loosely incubated at Singularity University in Australia.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like dystopian sells for some weird reason, but I think it's hotter and way sexier to just talk about restoring and regenerating. You know what I mean? We don't have to be a utopia. We could just be better than we are today.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Everyone says you need a protagonist for the story to be interesting. That's because we need to know that someone else's life is worse than ours. What's going on here? Got to make it better. You don't have to, feel someone else's misery and feel better about ourselves.
I guess people just like to know that it can always be worse.
Yeah, no, that's what the news is. I've worked in the news for a very long time, or at least a long time ago, whichever comes first. And one of the things that I've gotten out of working in the news is it's about selling misery to make people feel better about their own lives, and that's how they make their money. It's really horrible. But yes, you got to change that positive news.
I didn't realize how, I wouldn't say scripted, but, sheltered we are here in America until I lived outside of America and actually got to see real world news. I mean, it's not as any prettier than what we see, but you also do see in the world news a lot more good too. I mean, where media isn't as monetized.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just I've been traveling for a bit. Technically, I'm supposed to be living in Taiwan right now, but I'm back in California working on these world-saving things. My wife is back there right now with her dad. But it's amazing to see the different viewpoint of different countries, different continents, and how they see what's going on here. It's almost funny sometimes. America's that meme: a plate for breakfast with a handgun and some bacon. America. That's how a lot of people see America. There's
Absolutely. I mean, I've traveled a lot, not as much as some people, but in the sense that people say we are the joke of the world, and we kind of are, and it's sad. I mean, there's a lot of countries that think that we are a joke, and we're a powerhouse. We have some of the most pull in the world, but yet we're still a joke, and it's freaking sad.
Yeah, it happens. But I think with this whole entire social everything, this is social VR. This is our chance to actually step outside of ourselves. And if we feel that we need a little bit of protection, we can by putting an avatar on ourselves to speak our mind. And then we all of a sudden gain this strength where we come out of this avatar and are a different person. We need to start speaking our mind. I don't necessarily want to hear everything that's making you happy. I want to hear things that are pissing you off too and making you sad, making you angry. And what we're going to do to help change that. So that's kind of like what we do in this kind of space also. And support each other in whatever reality is, whatever kind of emotional state it is. Because, people go through more than just happy, and we're here to help you so you can actually be in that happy state as much as possible. So that's what we're here for too as a community.
Well, I have to get going. I love everything you guys are trying to achieve. I jumped into Discord, and I'm going to try and support as much as I can. I mean, if I didn't have my hands in 12 different projects right now, I would try to help more, but I'll see
I know
what
what you mean.
And support as much as I can.
Just by saying some stuff for us would be great. Just tell people about this.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Ian, are you over there? You want to speak? This is Virtual Conversations for Content Creators. We talk about creative projects we're working on or something we are interested in learning how to do. Anything creative. It doesn't have to be VR. If you want to, you can do an intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thanks for the introduction, but that's okay. Honestly, this is the first time I got Spatial working properly. I have a slow internet and it's so buggy, it usually never loads. So I'm just amazed it actually works tonight.
Wow, I'm amazed too. This dust storm is a lot of CPU. Definitely very brutal.
No, but thanks. I'm an old space refugee that's still looking for some other places to put on events and do things, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to get Spatial going reliably enough for me to use it with my slow internet connection, but I'll keep trying a little bit to see where it goes.
Well, why don't you talk a little bit about what you did in Altspace and some of the stuff you're trying to do now?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not really so much into VR, but I'm a comic writer, so I might be doing some events where I put some of my art up. That's kind of all I have in mind. Nothing too spectacular.
Yes, you sound like a comedian. Excellent. Who else we got? Is that it? Garnet. Peace out. That's the camera. I'm gonna make peace out. I should make peace out. What you see? You should see what peace out really looks like.
I want to chime in on something that Garnet brought up
Yeah, go
that
ahead. Do it, Andrew.
has super helpful for us here also, Brian, and it has been helpful in my life. I have this thing on in my phone called the idea box, you know, and like whenever I have a crazy ass idea that I don't have the time to do, but I'll make like 5 to 10 minutes, just like jot down the whole idea and everything I can about the idea, and then like frees up my space. And now this note document is like so super long. It's fun. And it's super helpful because it clears my space. And the Garnet has like 10 projects that are on the, you know, on the docket. And we have this other thing that we call the think tank in our little collective here. And I just want to share that hack or like that tool, because as creatives and as content creators, our ideas never stop flowing, right? And so if anybody for whatever reason isn't like logging those things regularly, having a place to log those and categorize them in a good way, I think is a great way. And then when the right one finds the right people to work with, or the funding comes in, or whatever happens, then you know you're prepared and ready to go. Your head is clear.
Maybe we need to do an idea bank for virtual conversations for content creators on the Discord. Maybe it's just a basic one. We could do a short form. I could probably make a form, Garnet, and people want to put some ideas on the table. We could just start collecting them and seeing if we can figure out how to get them done.
Like, yeah, I think a lot of young, you know, I'm an old guy, right? So it's like we've been through the process of holding on to an idea without getting discouraged. And I think, you know, what I would want to share with like young creatives is, yeah, exactly, to hold those ideas. Don't give up on them. Don't get frustrated when it doesn't materialize right away, or even some of the, like, you have no idea, some of the relationships, you know, you do a small thing together with someone, you create that relationship. It may be you know, in my case, it's usually doing something media wise or creating something for them film wise or image wise. And you have that one, it could be planting something together, just going out on an occasion. You have no idea the potential that you and another person have, and sort of what's growing underneath the ground, right? For something, you know, really massive to, you know, suddenly give birth, and all of a sudden it's there. And, you know, I agree 100%. You need that almost a system of, yeah, storing your ideas, and then just not letting, you know, there's kind of a place where they do die. And it's like when you almost do need to give up, there's this old proverb, unless a seed falls to the ground and dies, it stays kind of alone, right? So at some point, it is when you give up on those ideas that suddenly they spring back to life. And yeah.
Very interesting. I am more than happy for someone to do half of or most of my ideas, because there's so many ideas we're working on right now. But once we live in a world where everyone gets their equal share of life, and I think this is just the way life should be. Because I have so many ideas, there's no way I'm going to be able to do all of them. And honestly, I would rather share them and someone else do it and manifest them, because I know I'm not going to be able to manifest most of them. This is too much. So I think really maybe we could start figuring out a way of actually doing that.
Yeah, I'm always, whenever I see creators or people who built stuff kind of from scratch, you know, like what you guys have done at Heartland, it's like I'm always inspired. I'm like, how the heck did you do that? Like, what did that cost you? You know, people see the sort of the state that it is now, and it's beautiful. And of course, those projects never begin like as completed, or just there's the beginning places of them I'm always fascinated by. And what the founders have walked through to bring communities like that together.
You know what's really interesting about all that too? It's just like bringing the things into virtual reality Heartland Collective. It's like reverse engineering for the stuff that was already built. And part of the missions here is to create a model for how to do this in the first place to help other people succeed, because it takes a lot of hard work. But the truth is, once someone puts all the time and effort into figuring out how to do it well, then it's kind of the responsibility to share it with the rest of the world. And of course, there are some people who will be able to pay for it, and that'll be great. But we're also looking for things like investments so we can actually help other people do this too.
And
Bill?
the idea, the more it's just broadcast out there, you find those people who they are like, you know, they're there to provide resources, right? Whether it's labor or financial. And yeah, it's amazing how that always comes together.
So for everyone who's still here, Thursday, tomorrow, at least tomorrow, if you are in the same time zone we are, is going to be at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time, 2:30 p.m. California time. Life 3.0. Anders, if you're still on, could you explain a little bit about Life 3.0 for us real quick?
Yeah, sure. So Life 3.0 is the vision of where we as humans need to go in order to like live lives on purpose, live balanced lives. You know, it's a people and planet first. You know, we have to really start taking care of our planet, start caring of all of our people. You know, like help each other heal our traumas, help each other to really be on purpose, so we can be in this world doing the thing that we really fucking love to do, because that's the kind of people we want to hang out with. So we do that. You know, we learn how to live regeneratively together. You know, we learn how to live in this new way, integrating technology with these old like village type ways, because there's a mix of both of it that is who we are today. You know, and so we explore that together. We have one guest every show, and the conversation is just around, you know, how do we live this Life 3.0 life, and how do we live more regeneratively? And we'd love for you to come see Heartland VR. We've been working on it for a year, and lots of volunteers have come together, and it's just getting better and better. So we just launched in here in Spatial. So tomorrow at 2:30, for any of you that are here, we'd love to have you or your friends come join us.
30 California time. For anyone who's not in California, it's 2:30 California time. Anyone else want to say something, or we call it? Say your piece.
Just saying a quick hello, Anders. I can't remember if we met through LSCL or Tribalize, but I remember connecting with you and appreciate your work here.
Cool, thanks, man. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, that's an easy one. An uncompressible pocket of mystery. Formerly in North Carolina, studied the Dark 38 Autonomous Resilient Community, later renamed without incident to ideally create an alternative template, just sort of acknowledging from 2012 onward that the old paradigm was obsolete, that you know, putting the Federal Reserve on notice in 2013 that we'd be putting them out of business, that we will outlive money, and by just caring about each other and being able to make life awesome. And of course, Burning Man created codes for that. Rainbow Gathering is another way for people to actually make the welcome home a reality. But every home can be an energy production, healing center, and garden. And, you know, trying to make as many places that can feel and make that a reality is pretty much my life's work. And so I'm chiming in here to see where to get through tech back to reality. And that's usually my hope.
Excellent.
Cool.
You should come tomorrow, 2:30 Pacific. If you can. It'll be fun.
I'll check the Discord. Hopefully I can get up to speed on how to plug in there.
Excellent. Silent Dave just joined the
Well, thanks, Brian.
space. You're welcome, Anders. Silent Dave. You have to speak. That's almost an oxymoron. Oh, is it? Where'd you go? Well, thank you everyone for showing up. It was a pleasure. I didn't even want to come to this meeting, my own meeting, but I'm happy I did. I was feeling kind of bummed, and then of course I did mushrooms, and I'm much better. No, all kidding aside, of course I did mushrooms, but that's not why I'm better. I'm better
Yay!
because of the conversation. Dave,
Yay, mushrooms. Yay, mushrooms.
yay. Dave, you gonna break dance for us?
I think we should all dance.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, you guys see the Lantern Girl run with her legs crossed? It's amazing. It's like a miracle. I don't know how this happens.
Thanks for hosting
Now
us,
we need some
Brian, even
music.
though you weren't feeling great, man.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of horrible, but of course this is my life. I'm a what's the word? An empath. Meeting always makes me feel better, especially when people show up. See if I can get some music in here. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it, but maybe I can end on
let's
some
get it.
house music.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, peeps. I
All right.
think I'm gonna sign off.
Yeah, I
Todd.
get that. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it was a good meeting.
Thanks a
Glad
lot.
everyone showed up. Thanks, John Connors, for bringing the peeps. Thank you, Nature Boy, Basil. Maybe we'll get you on mic sometime. Hope you got some good footage. Yep, next time I'm gonna remove gravity from here. So basically, when you jump up, you're gonna fly. I just have to figure out how to do it.
Yay.
There's a way. I just don't know how to do it yet. I just can do this. All right, everybody. Good night
Good night.
and good night. I am off. Signing off from the Unity Sanctuary Virtual Conversation for Content Creators. Signing off. Bye-bye.